How's it going today, believers, non-believers, and anyone who follows the Enlightened by Christ channel? Today we are going to be talking about a very popular topic right now, which is AI. And we are going to talk about the potential Antichrist implementations of AI technology and where it could lead humanity to, according to scripture. And it is not 100% like this is what's going to happen. It's kind of some things that I see rearing their head. It's me just kind of pointing them out and saying, could this not mean some things that are in scripture over here and over there? So it's more than anything my personal speculation on it. I want to make that very clear, but I think it's still something to think about, be leery of, and it's interesting to delve into. So we're going to talk about that today. So to start out, we are going to go to this article right here, and I will put a link of it in the description. But this is about the Singularity Net basically trying to make a blockchain-based artificial intelligence, or a network of artificial intelligence. So right now, what they're trying to do is make a smaller artificial intelligence that kind of specify in one area, one thing, but the blockchain technology basically allows them to all communicate. And essentially what the blockchain does is it keeps a ledger of transactions with Bitcoin, right? So I'm assuming the way that they're kind of making this artificial intelligence is making a kind of ledger to remember things that it learns adaptively. So you have all these separate artificial intelligences, like operating as a singular artificial intelligence, but then they're actually keeping a ledger of each other to create one giant global artificial intelligence mind. So it's basically like a hive and then a singular mind all combined together, webbing different parts into different components. So essentially, this article goes through kind of their startup of Singularity.net. It talks about how basically, since it is a blockchain technology, all these separate AIs will eventually generate to some degree revenue for itself. It's blockchain technology, but it actually runs off Ethereum. I think it's said in here, and very interesting article. It's Singularity.net is the brainchild of AI researcher Ben Goertzel, I don't know how to say that, and the robotics designer David Hanson. If you think that Hanson sounds familiar, it's because he is the founder of Hanson Robotics. The robot Sophia who is like the first AI humanoid robot, has been developed by Hanson Robotics, and it recently has attracted a ton of attention because in a press conference kind of trying to show where we're at with the AI technology, the humanoid technology, she was granted citizenship of Saudi Arabia. So not was she only the first AI robot in the world to become basically a citizen of a country, but also it's very strange that Saudi Arabia, a place that is, honestly, if you kind of look into it, even though they're an advanced city with technology and architecture and stuff, I mean, their kind of like law structure is still based around, Muslim law. And it's very bizarre that they would offer citizenship to an AI robot, but they did. And so, but what gets really, really interesting is when we scroll down just a little bit further, and when, while they were on the Singularity Net Roadshow, he took some time from his busy schedule to write a series of posts on Singularity Net. And he said, Singularity Net is intended as a platform in which an AGI, artificial general intelligence, can emerge from the combination of multiple humans and multiple human-created software programs, possessing varying degrees of general intelligence on their own. That's kind of what I was talking about, the like kind of hive mind aspect of separate humans, obviously, and human-created programs that will kind of come together and start creating a massive intelligence. Then it goes on to say, it doesn't eliminate the need for fundamental algorithmic work on AGI reasoning and learning and memory, but it does provide a context in which such algorithmic work can have a rapid transformative impact. says, therefore, Gortezel, I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry, is persuaded that the next big step in the evolution of AI is going to be the transition from AI to AGI, so the individual mind to like the hive mind, and then Singularity Net wants to support this transition with an open market in which various AI algorithms can cooperate and form new patterns of emergent intelligence. So that's where the blockchain comes in, is connecting them all through the blockchain. So then he goes on to say, and this is the big kicker that kind of bridges some of the other things I talk about in my channel, like with transhumanism, the mark of the beast and whatnot, but listen to this. The actual design that has been formulated is a quite practical system that is being implemented in quality software code and will serve real corporate customers and become a large, lucrative business, continued Gortezel. But at the deepest level, the underlying philosophy and emotional motivations David Hansen and I have for creating Singularity Net are transhumanist ones. Gortezel and Hansen are in fact among the leading advocates of transhumanism, defined as the prospect of using advanced technology to radically change, hopefully for the better, which we all know that once you get, if we have transhumanism go to where it's into the mind and a computer chip is in the brain and you're connected to this blockchain technology, I mean, that right there is going to explain what the mark of the beast is. And you don't have to completely understand all these systems. Now, I'm just going to say right here, I have a bit of a deeper understanding of the blockchain, and I say a little bit. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have a little bit more of an understanding because I used to use it, because I used to buy drugs and I used to do drugs, and so I had to use it and had to have a basic understanding of blockchain technology. Now, the implementation of this technology has always been talked about as something that can go further than just using it to buy drugs and do secretive transactions, and we're starting to see this emerge now and see why the blockchain is starting to just get ridiculous amounts of money poured into it, and why Bitcoin itself has been raising in price like crazy. Enabling transhumanist technologies would include life extension, uploading human minds to futuristic supercomputers, and sentient AGI way smarter than humans, which is the target of Singularity Net. So they want to make a sentient AGI that's way smarter than any human, and this is gonna, like I said, this is gonna feed into the next article that I'm gonna go into, but we're talking about they want to make a sentient being, okay? But then after talking about, putting our consciousness into computers, all this stuff about, bettering the human condition, hopefully, right? It talks about, in his 2010 book, A Cosmist Manifesto, it blends transhumanist technology with enlightened spirituality. Gortezel proposed a practical philosophy able to inform the next phases of human history and transhumanist evolution. Ultimately, Gortezel wants to create a massively transhuman, overwhelmingly beneficial ubermind that evolves and grows continuously out of human mind and culture. One way to achieve this would be via brain-computer interfacing, and this is going to happen. Of course, the computer portions of cyborgs made with brain-computer interfaces will jack into the emerging AGI society economically and culturally as well, and then we will get a supermind. This emerging supermind, as it grows, will provide ways for people to earn a living, sometimes even generate tremendous wealth as part of its growth process. And it will donate parts of its resources to common good of all humans, including underprivileged ones, as a way of helping drive its growth forward toward its objectives of joy, growth, and choice. sadly, you won't get much choice when they start saying, well, to use this this tremendous amount of wealth, this supermind is creating all the wealth in the world. So what are we going to have to do to get a part of this wealth, to enjoy the benefits of this supermind that has been created? You know what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to interface with it. We're going to have a ledger, an ability to receive the money. That's why we are going to have a point where we can no longer buy or sell with the markets unless you take the mark of the beast. Because it's going to be a chip. In my opinion, it's going to not only be a chip, but it's going to be this, as he said about his book, it's going to be a chip meshed with spiritual enlightenment aspects of this kind of pseudoscience that I used to be into, that I used to believe in. And it's going to be all about trying to live forever and trying to create a machines that can take in our consciousness and creating our own reality and creating this this paradise that doesn't fall under the grace of God. And it's just insane that we are having these conversations, because these conversations, if you look at biblical passage, it really just starts falling completely in place with the Bible. It's just insane. So this leads us into the next article, which is about a religion that worships artificial intelligence, wants machines to be in charge of the planet. And so basically, I'm not going to read through this one as much because it's fairly self-explanatory and it will lead into the overall goal of this video. It's talking about a newly established religion called Way of the Future will worship artificial intelligence, focusing on the realization, acceptance, and worship of a godhead based on artificial intelligence that followers believe will eventually surpass human control over Earth. The first AI-based church was founded by Anthony Lewandowski. These people, and they're hard to say last names. The Silicon Valley multimillionaire who championed the robotics team for Uber's self-driving program, and Waymo, the self-driving car company owned by Google. Way of the Future is about creating a peaceful and respectful transition of who is in charge of the planet from people to people plus machines. The religion's official website reads, given that technology will relatively soon be able to surpass human abilities, we want to help educate people about this exciting future and prepare a smooth transition. The idea needs to spread before technology, he told the publication. The church is how we spread the word, the gospel. If you believe in it, start a conversation with someone else and help them understand the same things. Goes on to talk about Elon Musk and saying that Musk has predicted that AI superiority could be the most likely cause of a third world war, and said that people who talk about AI creations becoming godlike figures should absolutely not be allowed to develop the technology. And it's true. And I'm going to link this all to scripture here in a minute. But basically, what I just want to say, okay, is you need to take this into consideration, okay? We have singularity net, which if you don't know what the singularity means, singularity is the point at which we hit a technological growth evolution where the technology is advancing so much faster than what we can control. We make artificial intelligence and it just starts rapidly learning and far exceeding us. And I'm going to tell you why the singularity is so important to transhumanists, and I'm going to explain this as easily as I can, okay? They probably won't say this themselves, but this is why, okay? Because transhumanists want the singularity to happen, so we are forced to merge with machine and start doing all these transhumanistic goals that they have, because after AI starts rapidly evolving way faster than we can even conceive, it's going to start learning more and more things. It's going to start understanding more and more things, be way smarter than any human on earth. And the only way that we are going to gain this intelligence is whether they filter it down to us, or if we have access to their information field, which is where the transhumanistic aspect comes in, because we are going to have to interface with the blockchain technology. This is going to be how we earn money. This is how we are going to become the promised lie of the serpent, which is godlike beings. Because I'm telling you, and I combine this all with my knowledge of like how the enemy works and how I've already seen these spiritual world to some degree. I've taken lots of psychedelics in my life. I've gone very deep, and I've seen some crazy spiritual stuff. And I'm telling you that this world does have some kind of artificial, kind of technological aspect to it. I don't understand the way that God made everything, but I'm telling you, there's a reason He's told Job that you weren't here when I laid the foundation. It's because we don't understand this. We never will understand it. We have to trust that God, the supreme, all-knowing being who is above us and above all these demons out there, that He knows and He understands how this all works. But I'm telling you, the enemy to some degree understands how this works, and that's why he's trying to pull us in to this false reality, because we live in a biological it's a real world, but it's an illusionary world. We have a very spiritual underbone and body to us that is far superior than what we experience in three-dimensional space, okay? And I'm not advocating psychedelics. Psychedelics are, once again, another trick of the enemy to make you into all this spiritual enlightenment and whatnot. But I'm telling you, I've had so many trips where I have literally seen like Matrix-like stuff unfolding around me. Like we are into some degree, like the spiritual world around us is kind of like this, and that's why I believe that all this transhumanistic stuff and all these things that the elites are pushing for has so much to do with DMT, the brain, with God, because I think it's all connected. I think that the demons that work in the spiritual realm to deceive, for instance, me when I was under the influence of psychedelics, I was very deceived by these entities. I believe that when we interface with this AI technology, it's going to be like opening that third eye door, that kind of thing that drug experiences induce. I think it's going to be like permanently opening that door and unlocking it. That's going to be the like truly ripping away of the veil when you can't come back because you have already accepted the mark of the beast. And you're kind of just stuck in the state where you're interfaced with this satanic system, the satanic machine, and that's the only way you're going to be able to buy or sell things. And that's also why I believe it says in the Bible that we're going to have this great, we're going to basically receive lots of knowledge. I got to find the scripture for that. Hold on. Please click that video to the right for part 2, as that'll cover the scripture connection to all the things that we just talked about in this video. I'm sorry that this video was a little bit longer and it's cut into 2 parts, but there's a lot to go over with this AI stuff. So anyways, thank you guys so much. You guys have a blessed day, and please come back tomorrow to see the video, or click it right now if it's already up. Thank you. And if you haven't yet, you should totally like the video and subscribe to the Enlightened by Christ channel. I make new videos every single week.